becoming visible, making more and more promises.
Primary education from grade 1 to grade 7 must be provided completely free.
Every village, in 3 years, there will be a ball in Hlongwane solar.
Patinongopinda tunhu chokutanga kukudzorerai pamakasiyiwa navamugabe. Toda kudzorera maticha kwavaiva kwokuti ticha aizikanwa semunhu aitenga zikoti zheadmaster nenyaya yokuti anga ane udzamu nejikiniki.
But are these promises going to be fulfilled? The electorate is pondering on who to vote for in the council, parliamentary, and even presidential election. We bring you the candidate, where we interrogate their plans, their manifestos, their programs, to make sure that we give you information to make a choice on who to vote for. The candidate on Sly Media TV every Wednesday from 6 p.m. A very good evening, and it's that time again. Every Wednesday, remember that we bring you the candidate. My name is Perfect Hlongwane, and I'll be your host for the next 1 hour. Let me say that thank you so much for joining us. For those that are still coming through, please do so and like our page, follow our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss the programs that we bring you here. Like we always say every week, that we bring you on this platform, on this show, candidates from various political parties representing various constituencies, and also even wards in local government. And I also promise that we are going to be hosting here on the show presidential candidates as we are going into 2023. And tonight, this evening, we want to discuss issues concerning or around Mutasa South constituency. We have invited on the show the newly elected member of parliament for that area, and he represents ZANU-PF. His name is he's advocate, and I'm going to Misheck Mugadza. Yes, advocate Misheck Mugadza, and I'm going to introduce him just now. But before we do that, let's take a short break. When we come back, I'm going to be introducing my guest.
When you think of having the best, world-class, hassle-free, corporate or personal events, think Real Sound, offering a wide range of products and services with different sizes for LED and TV screens to suit different occasions. There's state-of-the-art PA systems that give you real sound. When it comes to event lighting, Real Sound is the best, not to mention the Sparkles machines. Want to appear in another planet? Try the cloud and smoke machines. There's also top executive furniture for corporate events. For all your virtual meetings, look no further. Get in touch for a free quote for your next event. Contact Real Sound via email or phone number. Real Sound, just passion.
Welcome back to Sly Media TV, and thank you so much for joining us. You can invite others to join us on this discussion, on this show that we have tonight, where we're dealing with issues from Mutasa South. Like I said, we have a member of parliament for that area, and he is Misheck Mugadza. Welcome to the show, Honorable Mugadza.
Thank you. Welcome. I feel welcomed already.
Tell me, how is Mutare? So that also our viewers know, we are having this show virtually. You are in Mutare, and I am in Harare. How is Mutare?
Mutare has been raining, drizzling almost all day, but otherwise it's fine, and we are rolling.
All right, so let's get the ball rolling. Let's start with the constituency that you represent, Mutasa South. And we know that this constituency was in the hands of the opposition before. How did you manage the feat?
If you remember, Perfect, in 2018, I lost the election, but with not so much of a big margin. It really meant it has always been a 50-50 kind of situation. But this time around, I got it right because I sat down and said, where did we go wrong last time? And I found the spot and definitely corrected it.
So now let's look at the environment heading to the by-elections. Obviously, we want to have a reflection on the by-elections. What would you characterize that period as?
It was a normal election. The usual challenges that are faced in such elections by individual candidates from their own side. But otherwise, the environment was peaceful, and we were all free to campaign. There were no constraints. And I would meet my friend, my big brother, a guy, now and again, who would chat, laugh, take photos together with our supporters. At one point, we had campaign rallies just less than 100 meters apart. People thought it was going to be a situation. Even the police were pensive and worried. But we assured them, no. There's maturity in politics in Zimbabwe these days. And I tell you, we had such nice big rallies apart. And people are still talking about it up to today.
Yes, obviously, people will talk about it because it is uncharacteristic of our elections. Normally, as we are heading into any election, you find that there is violence, people are fighting one another, especially from different political parties. And you are telling us that at some point you had rallies not so far apart. How did you manage to do that and still contain people with different views and not cause violence?
Yeah, I think a lot has to do with the local leadership in these things. If you have local leaders that have their own personal grudges, people that don't see eye to eye for other reasons other than politics, sometimes they try to take advantage of politics and end up causing these bad things. Otherwise, to start with, me and Regai are good buddies. I call him Mkoma. He calls me Bamnini for a long time, and people know it. That on its own, obviously, sometimes it cultivates a culture of peace among your supporters because they would actually see us together. They would actually see photos that could easily be circulated with me shaking and him shaking hands, and now and again. So it's really against the violence is really against the background of many things, and I sometimes blame local leadership, the people that live next door to each other. They have their own problems, and they transfer it to politics. One says, "No, let me wait for the next rally, then I'll deal with him."
So when you say you blame local leadership, who specifically are you talking about here? Are you talking about our chiefs? Are you talking about crawlheads? What is it?
I probably have used the word leadership. Let me just say, local, neighbors, supporters, people who support different parties but live and don't live in the same house, they have their own grudges, right? It could be the leaders, by local leaders. I'm talking about village leaders and all the like, or political leadership that is at the low echelons of the political parties. In my party, we probably have cell leaders. I don't know in the other parties. But I'm trying to say, these people, if where you have such people, and they are not of, they are of a violent nature or are not of good character, sometimes that's where you end up with the unnecessary violence. Otherwise, if people live peacefully, I'm trying to explain what happened in Penalonga, as you were asking.
Yeah.
The people there are peaceful. They love peace. They don't hit each other unnecessarily. So when we there are rallies a few meters apart, still we do not have. We do not have any problems to manage the situation.
Clearly, like you said, that it is a show of political maturity that people from opposing political parties, both those that are contesting one another and even their supporters, are able to tolerate one another. It is not like it's a norm in this country. We have seen that politics in this country is toxic. Now, what lessons do you think as a country we can learn from the situation that you're just painting to us now?
Well, the lesson is there for everyone to see. It is important that people know that politics is politics. Our relationships must remain there strong, and we must not lose our love because we support different political parties. People have a lot of differences. We have different totems. We go to different churches. Let's just take politics as a church, politics as a totem, because we don't belong to the same totem does not mean that we are enemies. And that way, we can be able to develop our country as a nation, as one people.
So obviously, the issue that you're talking about speaks to political tolerance. And I also want to find out from you, what do you think? And to what extent do you think political tolerance helps the electorate or people in general to participate in political processes?
Well, I must say it is because of political tolerance that in this country that we having peaceful elections now and again. Yes, here and there we have skirmishes, here and there we have misunderstandings, and this is the culture that we want to be to continue to be cultivated, promoted, and this will obviously continue to take us to higher levels of development, because where there is no tolerance, eventually there is no peace, and consequently there is no development. So we need to be tolerant. We are, yes, but I have already said here and there we've come across skirmishes, and this we can do away with easily as long as we remain one people, and as long as we continue to love each other and tolerate each other.
And also as a representative of and a member of the ruling party, ZANU-PF, there have been accusations thrown at ZANU-PF that ZANU-PF is the one that perpetuates violence when we are heading towards the elections. And as we are going into 2023, I want to find out from you, do you think that we, or in any other election for that matter, we are going to see a situation where we have elections or periods leading to elections that are free of violence in this country?
That is my expectation, and I know it will be so. I'm very confident. Why? Because I don't want to sit here and say it is a CC or MDCT that perpetrated violence, or it is ZANU-PF. Violence has been has occurred in many on many occasions, but emanating from so many different situations. Every party has its responsibility. And like I told you, it's not the party, it's individuals. Individuals that have their own agendas, some of them, some individuals who were just born violent. But otherwise, ZANU-PF is a peaceful party, and it doesn't tolerate violence. The other political parties may also be the same, but they have their own people also perpetrating violence. But what I'm happy about is, for quite some time now, all the other previous elections, the immediate election and the 2018 one, we have really been showing a lot of maturity as Zimbabweans, and I can't expect 2023 to be different. I expect better things. I think more and more people are tolerating each other. More and more, we all know that politics is politics, but we have to remain Zimbabweans, a united nation, and focus ourselves on one thing, and one thing is development.
What role do you think leaders, especially those contesting in elections, play in making sure that there is political tolerance? People tolerate one another, tolerate the divergent views that they have.
Yes, definitely, it's the duty of us leaders. You see, the language we use, the way we portray everything. You know, leaders can play a great role if they mind their language, especially during rallies. We must just not incite. Like I already said, I'm happy. I don't think we have such leaders at the moment that I can pinpoint and say so and so is got a propensity or a tendency of inciting people. In the previous elections, that the by-elections we had, it was peaceful. I never heard of any skirmishes. If they were there, they escaped my ear. But otherwise, I congratulate the sons and daughters of Zimbabwe for continuing to show maturity and tolerance for each other.
Now let's move on and look at the plans that you have for the constituency. You are newly elected for Mutasa South. What is it that you're going to be doing for the people, for the constituency, for that area, to make sure that at least there is an improvement, there is an upward mobility in terms of people's lives?
Yeah, thank you very much, Perfect. Perfect, I told you I contested in the 2018 elections and I did not succeed. My brother, Regai, beat me to it. One thing I assured myself after the defeat is that no, it was not my time, and I said God is his time. But in my party, we take very seriously the issue of shadowship. I remained the shadow MP from Mutasa South constituency, ZANU-PF, and I must tell you, I did not abandon my job. I did not. As far as I'm concerned, I was just behaving like the MP for all intents and purposes, other than going to Parliament. So your question must be: are you going to be continuing with the projects that we have been doing? Are you going to be continuing with the work that we have been doing? Because I think that is what gave me the edge against my brother. Because I cannot tell you now what I want to do for the people of Mutasa. I can tell you what I will continue to do. And of course,
okay, let's start there. The programs that you want to continue
I'll start with the health
doing.
issues. I'll start with the health issues. In the constituents, we have 6 rural wards. In those wards, well, I just call them rural, but Penalonga area, which is Ward 21, is urban. But we have put up health centers where there are no clinics. And these health centers, a number of them are already functional. 1 or 2, we are finishing them off. And as I've become the MP with more power and more voice, I can assure you at the speed of a whirlwind, we will be making sure they are up and running. In those health centers, we bring in doctors on a monthly basis to assist those elderly people, those who disadvantaged members of the constituents, that some of them find it difficult to get to the other health centers in town. But otherwise, the real effort is made to make sure wellness is increased and enhanced. I must say, we are very lucky in the Mutasa South constituency. I'm still yet to hear if there's another luckier constituency. From 2018, the doctors in Mutare, a good number of them, up to 15, give us free medical assistance, either through the visits that they do on a monthly basis to these clinics or health centers. If any one of our disadvantaged person is not feeling well, they can visit any doctor. Well, I mustn't say any doctor, because this was started by the doctors that were there in 2018, but you know, the new ones, they've also come. but we haven't been able to talk to the new ones or ask them whether they are able to assist. But all those seasoned ones that have been in Mutare for a long time and that were there in 2018, we assist people free of charge, the disadvantaged people of our constituency, free of charge now and again when they seek help. And I, through the help of other well-wishers that are in Mutare, run an account with a pharmacy where they can get their tablets after being helped for free and they go home. But we are talking about those that either are physically challenged, those that are disadvantaged in some way, the elderly, and even those who really run hit on hard times and they need that kind of help. So that is what we are assisting people with in as far as the medical side is concerned, and that is going to continue.
So, so when you say that the doctors will be visiting or are visiting once a month to the constituency, does this mean that you don't have doctors that are resident in the constituency? And if so, is that not a problem, because people may get sick anytime and they want the attention of the doctors?
You're right. I think I need to clarify it.
Yeah.
We have hospitals in the constituency where there are resident doctors. Mm-hmm. But what we have tried to do is to bring good health to the doorstep of our people. All right? I can tell you, for example, we have a Old Mutare Hospital. It's at the heart of the constituency. But people that live in Ward 25 have to travel something like 5, maybe 10 kilometers to that hospital. But we've now put a health center in their midst in Ward 25. The doctors will be doing it like an outreach program. You've heard about, you know about outreaches.
Yeah.
People, when they do outreach, it doesn't mean that there are no doctors in that area. They are coming to give assistance to people in a more fashionable, more affordable, and more homely a manner. Mm-hmm. So we've got hospitals, yes. We've got doctors that can assist people time and again. But as you know, I don't think our health system has gotten to a stage where we have a hospital in every ward.
Yeah.
But
and on health, let's deal with the question of availability of medication and drugs. How is it in your constituency? We have had some people complain that most health centers do not have drugs and medicines.
I wouldn't agree with them. Yes, I wouldn't agree with them that most.
We seem to have lost our guest there. But anyway, let's try again to connect him. When we do so, we are going to continue with the program. This is the candidate. And tonight we are speaking to Advocate Mugadza from Mutasa South. And he is the newly elected member of parliament for that area. We are discussing issues of development for Mutasa South, what it is that he wants to do for Mutasa South as the member representing people in the Augusta House. We take a short break, and when we come back, we will continue with the questions. We are also going to be reading questions that you are sending on our page, comments that you have on our page, and put them to our guests.
When you think of having the best, world-class, hassle-free, corporate or personal events, think Real Sound. Offering a wide range of products and services with different sizes for LED and TV screens to suit different occasions. There's state-of-the-art PA systems that give you real sound. When it comes to event lighting, Real Sound is the best, not to mention the Sparkles machines. Want to appear in another planet? Try the cloud and smoke machines. There's also top executive furniture for corporate events. For all your virtual meetings, look no further. Get in touch for a free quote for your next event. Contact Real Sound via email or phone number. Real Sound. just passion.
Thank you so much. Thank you for keeping on logged onto the program and onto Sly Media TV. My name is Perfect Hlongwane. I welcome you. And those that are just joining us, we are on The Candidate. And on the program this evening, we have Misheck Mugadza. Honorable Misheck Mugadza for Mutasa South. Welcome back, Honorable, and we had lost you there, but you were still explaining to us and talking to us about the issue of availability of medicines.
Yes. There is no crisis in constituents that I know of to do with medical supplies, as it were, because we are there for our people should that happen. But otherwise, my constituency is basically not so well. It's not so far away from the city. We have our other medical centers in the constituency. So for us, so far so good. But otherwise, I must say, hello.
Yes, I can hear you now.
I must say, we as leadership, as the shadow MP and now MP, I have been making efforts to make sure those who are disadvantaged, those who are disadvantaged for one reason or another, and they let me know I have been assisting. And I'm not saying assisting from my own pocket, but from well wishers and the good people of my constituents, those who can afford.
So that's as insofar as health is concerned. Now let's look at other programs that you're doing that you said you are continuing to do in the constituency.
Yes, you know, people have to be empowered. You see, yes, we assist people here and there, but people have to assist themselves. We have to put them in a situation where they are able to make a living and assist their families. So one of the things that we have been running with for quite some time now is the training our women to be able to make and sell things like soap, cobras, Vaseline, perfumes, and so on. And it started when we started this. We weren't too sure how we were going to manage, especially the selling and the like. But I must say, where we are right now, we are moving in strides. And now that I'm the MP, my aim is actually to open up sales centers for the things that these ladies are making, because a lot of them are very enthusiastic. And I must say I'm very much indebted to the Women's Bank. It is moving with us in that it has offered to offer them loans to boost their businesses and get things going.
So, and when we look at the issue of education, mostly some people are talking about schools that are sparsy, and you find that kids have to walk long distances to access education. Some have gone to an extent of even saying this is 42 years into independence, and some communities do not have schools. The situation in your constituency?
It's not there. We have areas that we are putting up schools. You know, it is the education is the cornerstone of development, and it is what we all we've gone through, and we are what we are because of education. So yes, in my constituency, we have one or two areas that we are definitely making sure that kind of situation is avoided. I can tell you, we have schools that we used to be called Prazo schools. You know, schools that are from the farming areas. Those are, I have those schools in my constituents, and I can tell you we recently put up a computer lab in one of those schools. We we got electricity from as far as 500 meters per kilometer to the school, and we have finished the lab. We have received the laptops from the good ministry of ICT, and at the moment we are waiting for the minister to come and commission the lab. But these are schools that you would never have imagined to see something like a lab there. But because we have our people at heart, we are definitely going to be doing that at the other schools that are in my constituency. We have 3, 4 more that we are targeting. On the other schools, we have put up structures, we have put up toilets, and so on, and so forth. So yes, you are right, perfect. We need to up our game, and we are doing that. And I thank the government very much for the support that we are getting. And we know very soon it will be a different story when you look at those Prazo schools.
Obviously, as the representative of the area, you have time frames or you have targets to say, at least I want to see these 4 schools having computer labs by such a time. And I'm asking you this because we want to be able to then follow up and say, no, that day you promised us, you told us that in the next 5 months, the schools will be done. What are your time frames and your targets?
There's one down already, which we have finished. So the other 3 that I am targeting is I can comfortably say before the end of the year, let's get another interview.
Okay, you would have done some work there.
I would have done my best there. Yes.
All right. The Constitution does provide as a right access to water, and because your constituency is mostly rural, and there are challenges with water in most rural constituencies. I want to find out also from your area, are people able to get potable, clean water?
It will be not be fair for me to talk like it's all roses everywhere. But I must say I'm very privileged to be the MP of an area where water is in abundance. Let me start with the canal that runs through the whole constituency, from where the constituency starts in the Hlongwane area up to Odzi Bridge that you cross when you come to Mutare. Yes, clean water. We normally have to get it from boreholes and the like, and wells and protected wells and the like. Yes, we have those around. I can tell you that from between February and March, we sank in 3 boreholes across the constituency in areas that we knew were at high need. But otherwise, generally, you can't equate us to some other areas which are dry areas and really would have the crisis of that nature. Otherwise, we still intend to put more boreholes, but I must say comfortably that when it comes to water, we don't rank badly.
So obviously those are the issues that you want to deal with in your constituency. Now let's move on to your role in Parliament and to say what is it legislatively that's on your dashboard?
Child marriages. Yeah, and the law protecting women, I still think I can make a contribution. I always tell people that I'm a father of 4 girls, beautiful girls, and it touches me when I see women, Pashona Shungurudzwa, and the like. It's one of the things that I intend to champion, play my party. and see one or two things that may need to be straightened through my contribution.
So when you talk about child marriages and legislatively, what is it? How are you going to be dealing with that?
The ball is already rolling. The law has been set, some of it, but it's just a question of perfection. You know, when, for example, we say, you know, you can't be married until you are 18 and the like, and it's thinking in people, but it will take time for people to understand it. It will take time for people to be able to follow it without clandestinely doing the very things that the law does not allow. So it's a question of perfection, I must say.
Okay, and like you rightly are saying that the ball is already rolling with regards to those issues. From your perspective, what new things are you going to be bringing to ensure that the perfection you're talking about is seen through?
If you want me to let the cat out of the bag, then I will steal the thunder. Remember, I still have a day in Parliament to make my maiden speech. Why don't you leave that for that day? If I let my cat out of the bag, another parliamentarian will pick it up and then steal my thunder, man. Don't take away my thunder.
So you want to wait for the maiden speech?
Yeah.
I'll respect that.
Thank
I respect that. But okay, that's in so far as child marriages are concerned. And you also touched on issues to do with women, women's rights. Again, there are issues that are happening with regards to women issues and their rights, especially participation in political processes. They have been complaining that they do not have the space to participate equally like the male counterparts. How do you see this, and how do you think as a country we can deal with that and ensure they enjoy that right?
Sure. I agree with them that we still have to up our game in as far as their participation is concerned in a number of places, Parliament, up to the top. It's I think a lot also has to do with them as women, the encouragement that they need to be given or to give each other. But the law is to accommodate them and continue to sometimes even act like we are trying to disadvantage men in order to reverse an injustice. But I think for now, many men are now tolerating it. I don't hear too many complaints about it because it's something that has been there. The disadvantaging women is something that has been there since colonial times. I was reading recently some article on social media which was talking about a women teacher having to wear a dress that would touch the ground and not to be married and that kind of stuff. So that's where we are taking it from. So, but I'm happy Zimbabwe as a country we have made strides in order to redress that, and I know we can do more. And it is my view that I should be part of the doing more.
Let me read some of the comments here as we are about to come to the end of the program. Some of the comments that are coming from our listeners. One of the comments says, I want to know how Mr. Mugadza felt when he beat Mr. Tsunga in the election. What was the feeling? That's number one. Then the other one here says that perfect. I want you to ask Mr. Mugadza if he knows the roles of a parliamentarian as a newly elected member. Does he know his roles?
Yeah. I want to answer the first one. The second one, I think my whole discussion with you here was highlighting the roles of the MP, so I don't want to repeat other than maybe add one or two things. But otherwise, like I said, the guy is my brother. When he beat me last time, I wasn't even that dejected. I simply said it was not my time. I knew my time was coming. When I heard that there was going to be this by-election, I was not expecting it. But when it was announced, I simply said inside myself that I think this was my time. So when it happened, I don't want to lie, I think I was expecting it. I think I was, because I said, but is this the reason why God gave me strength to remain with the people even when I was beaten? Is this the reason why I never got tired of doing my duties as a shadow MP? Now that there is a by-election, let's see how the people will react. And the people reacted favorably, and I said to myself, thank you, God, I think this is my time. So, of course, I felt great. I felt also that my brother would probably, I know him very well, and I know he accepted it. And so I said, no, Ushema Zoro, this is my time also.
And the last question that I'm going to be reading from our viewer here says, I respect what Mr. Mugadza was saying, that with his political opponent, they actually were seeing eye to eye and are in good books. But I want to find out from him, does he think that his leaders in ZANU-PF have the same way of looking at things? Will they accept if CCC or any other political party for that matter wins the election? Will they accept defeat?
My leaders are just like me. This is the ZANU-PF spirit. I'm not different from my leaders, especially our president. He's a listening and accommodating man. His history and past speaks volumes about it. And we're a fair party. We go to an election to win or lose. I don't see any problem. But what I can assure the questioner is that ZANU-PF will never lose. It will always be there. So he must not worry himself or herself about what will happen if ZANU-PF loses. Because it's not going to lose.
So he says, what if? And we wanted to answer that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's given. We are a democratic party. We go to elections every 5 years, and we know that the election is going to be won or will be lost, right? So, given if somebody wins, they've won. But the issue is we don't need to worry about that because ZANU-PF will not lose.
Okay, we have come to the end of our program this evening. Let me thank you so much for your time, but let me give you time to just wrap up and give us words that you have for people from your constituency that are watching this show. What is it that you want to tell them?
Yeah, I must say I'm very thankful to the electorate in my constituency for trusting me, for putting their trust in me. What I can say is that I'm going to tirelessly work with them as we've been doing. We have to finish our project. We have to take this country to another level. We have our president to guide us. And like he always says, brick after brick, let's build our country. Those who did not vote for me, please find it in your heart to like me and to work with me. I like you and I would like to work with you. I'm the MP for everyone. I'm not just for those who voted for me. And I can assure you, if you have any problems, feel free to approach me. I will help you in as much as I help those I know for sure voted for me, because we are one people, we are one Zimbabwe. We need to take this country to another level. Thank you.
Let me say thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being on Sly Media TV and on The Candidate. My name is Perfect Hlongwane, and thank you so much to our viewers, those that contributed. We value your contributions, but let me also once again remind you that go ahead, invite others, like our page, and also follow our channel. So that you don't miss any program that we're going to be bringing you here. We are going to continue to invite candidates and those that are representing different constituencies in the House of Assembly to come on the show and discuss issues that are happening in those constituencies and what it is that they have up their sleeves for the electorate. Let's meet again on other shows. Have a good evening.